Yeah, so today I finished Nest.js tutorial that I was doing, not tutorial, article which I was following for Prisma, GraphQL, and uh, Nest.js, right? That I finished. Then I will, sometime later, I will start building using the same for my own project, which was pretty good. I found it like in some way I understood it, but unless I practice it, I won't finish it, right? So I need to practice that so I can understand fully how Nest.js Prisma GraphQL this setup works for backend. I want to learn one technology for backend. TRPC is another backend technology that I'm considering to learn. So two backend technologies is also good to have, right? The thing is, I don't know which one to finalize, but either way, I'll just pick one and go along with it. I think Nest.js will be a better choice for me right now. But let's see. Apart from that, when I finished that, I again dove back into reading more about React, Redux, these things. I was reading articles by mark.dev. There is a good website, 10 big square or some big square or something. There's really good articles on how React works, how Redux works, Rob Verich or something like that. That guy's articles are also pretty good on how Redux works. I was reading also about how types guard works. So basically, problem statement is how do you assert types or guard types on a function that accepts two different types of uh, types. So suppose I'm passing a variable in a function. Now that variable can hold more than one types. Then what do you do? Then you assert or cast the type using another function, uh, which tells your TypeScript that is the type that you want is the type you get, right? Like this. There's something interesting. I was also looking into NetRW, how to use it more efficiently. So I always spent a lot of time moving up and down to go back and forth the directory. So there is a simple like dash or U that you can do to move back and forth the directory, which made it pretty simple. Now it is much faster. Yeah, I tested it out; it was pretty good. And last few days I've been working on Web Vitals, which has been going pretty good. I realized a lot of optimizations that I made in some private project. It comes from mostly optimizing image videos, uh, and another big like apart from that also restructuring components helps a lot. Reducing use memo helps a lot, and also it's like major performance gains come from how we reduce calculation. And also suppose there are like 100 items on a single page, then instead of doing high level stuff like the components on the top which are less, instead doing small optimization in several components helps out a lot. So if I'm mapping over a component and then fixing something in those smaller components helps increase performance a lot. Like suppose if I just stop the computation in all the smaller components, then it just takes away all of the bandwidth of frame drop, right? So that is amazing, right? Because I just recently dove into this performance thing, and it simply gives more insight of how things work. I was also diving into Redux a bit more, the three principles of Redux. That Redux is like single state only, and states are immutable. I think I forgot the third one, but yeah, anyways, I'll get back. But yeah, Redux is also pretty simple. So in the sense, the concept behind it is pretty simple. The restrictions are more complex. The restrictions that Redux puts on you so you do not mess up the things is pretty complex, and it is pretty amazing to read about. I was going through that also. And I found a quote from Dan Abramov saying that virtual DOM is a very old thing to say, and the better way of saying that would be React is a React makes UI into a value that that makes it much more easier to comprehend and understand how React actually works in so much better way. Yeah, so that was pretty cool thinking of React as a library that makes UI into a value, which is like obvious thing. Like yes, it's just tree of objects, right? It's just a lot of nested objects, but when put it that way, then you can never unlock it, right? You cannot unhear it, and but when you think about it, it's obvious. But when you hear it for the first time, it becomes a very obvious thing. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. So this is all I did today, and another great article I found about language versus meta language. So language is the source code, and meta language is all the articles, documentation, text that you can read that tells about the code. So understanding meta language and language both is important. So I went through that also. But yeah, that's about it today.